Alright, family, black signal went out a little bit earlier than I thought. I thought I had saved it, but actually it looked like I saved and sended it. Who knew? Who knew? The black signal went out before I was expecting it. So there's nothing I could do but say, hey, you are now rocking with the Congregation of the Mighty. We are Gye-Nyame Journey Media. This is the Heart of December production. And this is your daily toast. What's going on with you? Get that together. It's daily toast. And this is the Heart of December production. You need some water or something, Leo? Huh? Simba, you need some water? He must be. Alright. We'll work with him. Alright. Last but not least, we strive to blow up your old paradigm. Some type of techno virus going on here attacking my spirit animals. What the hell going on? At least Miss Anime was on it. Alright, family, reminding y'all this weekend we got the African Village Arts Festival. Hope to see you in the place, right? This Kuumba, August the 18th at 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's the year 2018, just in case somebody is watching this in the future and trying to figure out. So it's 2018, August the 18th at 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We will be having the African Village Arts Festival. Be live music and bands, food vendors, martial arts workshops, arts and crafts, poetry, face, culinary arts, and painting, henna tattoos, dancing, live DJ, and much, much more. Then also, Miss CeeLo is going to be demonstrating the African Heritage Diet. She's going to workshop some free food sampling. And also at 5 p.m. we will be having a tribute to Prince. Live music, trivia, contests, and prizes. And also we got the live band at 6 p.m. Jazz Hop Movement featuring B Jazz. B Jazz is going to be in the place, y'all. So y'all come on out. Y'all check out the African Village Arts Festival. We're going to have a good time. See, and I missed a lot of people because that damn signal went out too early and people was looking for it and now they can't find me. Alright, so that's cool. We're going to do the toast. Alright, tonight, family, we got tribal quotes unless we have us another interview. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about working on an interview. So we're going to work on the same proverbs that we were supposed to last week, and they are on day 38, coming out the Gye-Nyame Journey Workbook, Tribal Quotes, Hatim by Hatim Gye-Nyame. That's me? I did that? Man, not only do we got t-shirts, we got books? What? Alright. Zeal without knowledge is fire without light. That's from a Thomas Fuller. Stress is when you wake up screaming and you realize you haven't fallen asleep yet. That's author unknown. Stress is when you wake up screaming and you realize you haven't fallen asleep yet. Yeah, that's stress. And from South Africa, a house of your own is worth wagons of gold. A house of your own is worth wagons of gold. So we will be discussing those tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to check us out on this Ujamaa as we deal with tribal quotes. All right. So I'm gonna grab my glass. I'm gonna grab us some water. This is the 33.8 ounce. So they didn't have the big one in it. So I had to buy several small ones because all the other waters are super, super expensive. I ain't feel like, I need to get 14 to 15 day supply so that we could do the toast. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to toast with a different water. Because if I have a water just with my family, my girls will just be running around with bottles of water and like I'll be finding stuff like this everywhere. Just open bottles, just spring water. They'll just open it and it's real life here at Gye-Nyame Journey. All right. So, I don't know who out there, because right now, but you know what? I'm starting to notice that we getting the rhythm, right? So, my basement flooded yesterday. And, no, the day before yesterday. And I had time to get down. Yeah, it was yesterday. That was a midnight. I had to get down there and clean that up. So now we got to throw away the carpet, but the carpet has absorbed so much water that I'm having problems getting it out the basement, so I'm letting it drain. But then I had to move everything and mop down there. But the issue now is that I moved everything and I moved it to the dry side, and it just so happened the dry side is the side that floods. It don't really flood, but it's like water comes through when it rains. And guess what it's doing this morning? Raining. Yeah, I know. Genius, right? It's real life here at Gye-Nyame Journey. So that has to be figured out. And I'm still thinking on it. So we're going to go and drink our water. Drink our water. Drink.
Mr. Diddy.
Drink your water. Come on. Drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Drink, then drink. See, I should have said it like this, right? Breathe, then drink. Oh, hold on. Then lift your glass and get some water. Lift your glass and drink some water. Lift your glass and sip some water. Just lift your glass. Drink. Lift, then drink. Now move your body, drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Move your body. Drink. Now wow. Move, then drink. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass. Drink. Raise, then drink. Now take your breath and drink some water. Lift your glass and drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Breathe, live, move, drink. Breathe, drink, eat, move. Take your breath. Lift your glass. Move your body. Toast your ancestors, break down. Drink, 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 drink. Lift your glass, lift your glass, lift your glass. Drink, 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 drink. Lift your glass and drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Drink, 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 drink. Don't let it play on out. Alright. Oh man, what a glorious and marvelous Ujamaa. Wish a great Ujamaa to each and every last one of y'all, family. Remember, tonight we will be having our show. We'll be having tribal quotes. We already read the quotes that we're going to be going over, so you can have time to look them up, have time to think about them, so that you come and drop some wisdom that might save somebody's life. Right? We're living in a time right now where sometimes the only thing that some people may have to hold on to is words. It's getting bad. Right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it really depends on how you look at it. Or does it? Is it just getting bad? You know what I'm saying? And that's something we could talk about tonight. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I mean, we're moving into, it could be, I guess it could be a great time, or it could be a treacherous time, a sad time. I mean, new discoveries are being discovered all the time, but then there's a lot of craziness and madness going on, and it's almost as if you have to make a choice on what you're going to focus on, right? Because focus is everything. So somehow last night, you know, because after getting down there and cleaning up that basement, I had to get in the tub, and somehow I was thinking about the number system. I can't remember what brought the thought of the number system to, I was trying to figure out the sequence of my day, because if you look on my Spreaker or my YouTube, I mean, anything with the Daily Toast, I have the numbers in a certain way. So, for example, today would be 816182, right? 816182. That's August 16th, 2018, 2 year, right? And I know some of y'all be good, because like when I started Daily Toast, it's like it started right on time, right? I don't know if anybody understand me. When I started it, it's almost like it was meant to start, so I was able to start in a 1 year. Now, it wasn't a 1 year for me, but when you looked at 2017, right, and you do the numbers on 2017, you come up with the number 1. 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7, right? You're like, Brother Tim, how does 2017 equal 1? 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7, right? That's 2 plus 0, which is 2, plus 1, which is 3, plus 7, which is 10. You take the 10 and you got a 1 plus a 0, which leaves you with 1, right? So it's like we started off on a number 1. That whole year was number 1. So you would see dates like on 8/16, on 8/16/171 was the date, right? Last year at this time. So now it's 2. We're moving through a 2 cycle. And it's like these cycles, right? Since we're talking about the way of the world, these cycles, when we start really learning to plug in, right? Because one of the first things that was a lot of first things. I know I keep saying that, but one of the things that we make sure that people that's dealing with Gye-Nyame understand, you learn how to start plugging yourself into cycles. You know what I'm saying? Whether they are ancient cycles or whether they're cycles that we have taken command of as a group. Because the whole piece is, family, listen. Everything has a process. Everything has a cycle, right? And either you could plug into cycles or you could start creating cycles that you can use to your benefit, right? And what numbers allow us to do, right? Numbers not only allow us to count, but numbers are also symbolic representations of ideas. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But for us, 5 also represents freedom, right? And all of the things associated with the idea of freedom, right? There's a discussion that could be had around the concept of a 5. And a 5 is also a description of a cycle, right? And if you know where you are, because a lot of us in our lives, we don't know where we are, right? We don't know where we are. So if we are following the rites of passage cycle, or we're following the hero cycle, which is basically the same thing, we don't know whether we are on in the call, or we don't know whether we are in the separation. We don't know whether we are in initiation, or we don't know whether we are in the reintroduction part of life. All right, we claim certain things, but we don't know what part we are in. Right? Some of us we follow cycles, and and this is what's crazy, right? We give up power to other people and their cycles. This is why I said, no longer will this be the day that you've been taught it was. Today is Ujamaa, because I start understanding the power of symbols, right? So it's like, so in Gye-Nyame, one of the things I plug people into is that each number has a meaning. And in your life, you are right now in a number cycle. You are in a symbolic number cycle. And what does that mean? So if you was to look at your life, right, there's certain things going on that if you were to look at them, right, you would be able to break down the number that you are on right now and understand why you're going through some of the stuff you're going through. Now, this became very real for me when I got shot. What do you mean, Brother Hatim? At that point in time, I had said, boom, I'm going to follow. For a couple of years, I had been following the number cycles, and I've been following the number cycles in my life. So, I had a 1 year, marvelous year. Stuff started coming together into dependence, right? And I started understanding that a lot of stuff worked together, and I was able to start really seeing how certain ideas could be combined with other ideas to make stuff start happening, right? In year 2, I started learning about cooperation. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. This shit can actually work. We could start cooperating. This agency cooperate with this agency. We do a lot of stuff together. I cooperate with him and her, and we could build us. So, you know what I'm saying? Boom. Start working on cooperation, and it was beautiful, and it was working, and I'm like, damn. Year 3, communication, boom, I started speaking more, you know what I'm saying? I started being able to get with people, and I was more able to listen to their ideas a lot better, and I was able to communicate ideas very well. I was like, oh my God, this shit works, right? 4, order. Damn. Now I got to put the organization. First, I got to put my life into order. Then I got to put the organization into order. And I really started understanding the importance of things being where they needed to be, a certain order that needed to be established. Then we moved to the 5-year, which presented me with freedom, right? Freedom to move around, freedom to travel, freedom because the resources was coming in, so we had freedom. So we had to come. We was able to build up on and use the things that we had developed over the last 5 years to get shit done in the 5th year. The 6th year was about family. All right. You know what I'm saying? Boom. I started getting close relationship with some of the people I've been working with over the previous years. Family relations, family ties started happening. Family issues started rising up. Family became primary issue. Right? Struggled through that. Right? Start developing new relationships within that year too. Come up on year number 7. What is 7? 7 is the number of study, rest, and perfection. Some people say completion. I don't necessarily agree with that, but there is completion in 7, just like there's completion in 6, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can find almost anything you want in them, right? 7 is not by itself completion for us, right? So 7, I'm in my 7th year. 7 for us is study, rest, and perfection. And listen to the term study, rest, and perfection. So I get into this year. And one of the things I started learning was because it's precise instructions in the names of these numbers, right? So within the number 7, study, rest, and perfection. Shit, I was studying. I have been studying since before I got into this whole number thing. I'm studying, right? I'm trying to perfect what I'm doing, but I'm not resting. Now, this is what brought this whole number system home for me, and understanding cycles, right? There's certain things that's supposed to happen at certain times. And in the name of the number that was presented and that came to us, and that I use, right? Study, rest, and perfection. I study. I strove to perfect what I was doing. I studied from stuff and looking back, you know what I'm saying, over the previous 6 years. But the one thing I wasn't doing, I wasn't resting. I was hustling, I was grinding, because that's how you supposed to get down in America, right? I wasn't listening to the cycle. And in the number 7, you find that 7 has a way of slowing your ass down if you will not slow yourself down. So I'm in the 7th year. I'm ripping, I'm running, and it says that if you will not settle down, 7, the 7th cycle will find a way to sit your ass down. And that is the year that I got shot. Now, what? And so I'm laying in the hospital bed after I get through. I'm sitting up here like, damn, why this shit happen to me? You know what I'm saying? I got all these people coming to visit and stuff like this. And I started going through the cycle, right? Boom, 1, all right, boom, 7. So I'm reading about 7. It says 7, and I'm reading this from other people who have studied these systems. I'm reading, it says, if you do not rest, if you do not take the time to truly rest and allow this information to build it within you, right? 7 will find a way to sit you down. And what was I doing? I'm sitting in the hospital bed, going over my life, trying to figure out why did this happen to me. I said, damn, I'm not resting. I'm studying. I'm trying to perfect, but I didn't get rest. So for the rest of that year, you know what I'm saying? Basically, for the rest of that year, I had to chill. But what happened after that was miraculous. What happened in the 8 and the 9 year was miraculous, right? And it's like, family, what I'm saying is there's these cycles, right? There's these cycles that you could plug into. And it don't necessarily have to be the same one that I'm talking about. But these cycles are going on regardless of whether you understand them or not. And either you are taking possession of one and working with it, or one is taking possession of you and working with it. Right now, if you work a job, you are on your company's fiscal cycle, right? Please understand, right? There's a rhythm being set in your life regardless of whether you believe in it or not. You know what I'm saying? These laws do not require you to believe in them. These laws happen every day. There's a rising of the sun. There's a setting of the sun. That's a cycle. You live in a world that is built upon cycles. And all I'm saying is that you have the ability to take control of a cycle. You have the ability to plug into a cycle. You have the ability to start getting this type of stuff to work for you. Sort of like knowing, like being a surfer, right? You don't got to believe in cycles, but if you a surfer, you know what I'm saying, that every now and then the waves build up. You know, the waves come in, the waves go out. The waves come in, the waves come out. And every now and then the waves go out just a little bit farther. And when they come back, they crest up a little bit bigger and make it possible for you to ride in on them. All I'm trying to do is help you be a better surfer in life, right? This is what we talking about this morning. So whoever out there, shouts out to you. We about to do this toast. I'm going to let y'all go. So in a sense, the dates when you see them on there are reminders of me, are reminders for me of the cycle that we are in, right? This is year 2 of what we're doing for our Gye-Nyame journey, right? Far as this particular podcast, and by me adhering to this cycle, right? By me adhering to the cycle, you know what I'm saying? So last year we was in one. What is one? One is interdependence. I started learning how all of this social media shit works together, how you could pull stuff together. I started figuring out how to pull stuff together within my life and bring certain people into certain rooms so that I can have certain things happen, so we can all see how important it is for us to work together. Now, let me say this to you. Those of you that do not mess with these cycles and stuff like that, right? Those of you that don't and think that, you know, you just able to live your life haphazardly, I really feel for you. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I really feel for you, because it's almost as if you're caught in some type of illusion when cycles go on around you all the time. And like I said, if you don't believe me, look at your pay periods. Cycles. Look at the week. Cycle. Look at the rising of the sun. Cycle. Look at the 24. Look at the 12-hour clock. Cycles. You're surrounded by cycles. So if we are going to be powerful as a group, as a family, as a tribe, we have to understand that we could plug into cycles of success, or we could plug into cycles of failure. Or we could just ignore the cycles altogether and ride the waves that life sends us. Good luck with that shit. So I got 2 bottles here. I got a grown cap and bow. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they both full of life. Look at that. They both full of life. So we got this one. Let's see. Y'all ready? Get ready for it. Let's see. Man, I just love the fact that something that I had something to do with, you know what I'm saying, it's just I mean, like, I just watched this whole process, right? let you build up again. I'll take you tomorrow morning. We're going to sip on you a little bit. Didn't finish the water. I apologize. Alright, so first call on the creator by whatever name you choose to call that creator. We lift up our glass and we salute that creator, that very first ancestor, and we say, Ashe. From there we move to the stars of the show. The reason that we gather every morning is to salute these beautiful beings that have allowed us to come through them, stand upon their shoulders. So we salute them. Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robin and Texana Davis, Sean Brown, Senior, Rosalie Tiller, Georgia William, Walter, Christopher Gasson, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, Aunt Fiend, Cleveland and Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Watch Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvara Brown, Jenny Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Watch Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallard, Montague Pittman, Normal X, and Pat Maya Ra, Malika Fakur, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusef Weston, Elder Ageni, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro, Hector Jr., Jay Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Dergale Pulley and the Luxter Brothers, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kel Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Trigg, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Renderman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr. Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kelly D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Dale Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Ware, Levita Farmer, Agosto Shoes, Cheryl Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Theolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, May Esther Keach Larice, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy, Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bowden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover Hill, the Pearson Surgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavina Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Sophia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kennedy, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quills, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quills, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.E. Johnson, Del Rita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W.S. Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry Worrell, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martineer, Elder Amatet Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Delma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey Eleanor Howe, Frank Russell and Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Vina Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy. DeFriedis Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scannelberry, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, Edith Catney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Pina Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Jennifer Sensabaugh, Hazel Gasson, Jerry Brantley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaniko Parsons, Jason Cathy, Stacey Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Lena, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irving, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Boots Jefferson. Mr. Andre, did you ever send in your ancestors? So we could toast them as well in the morning. Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Donna Hill, Richard Glebus, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Boy Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Haley Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Charles Cottrell, Aunt Becca, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, William and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harry Tubman McKay, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron, Nino Baby Hatch, Hatch Sr., Mally Miller, Housie Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Doretha Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Lee Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Francis, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nana Harris, Eva Ford, James Hairston, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Albert Moore, Miss Vanilla, Albert Motley, Geraldine. What the hell is going on behind me? Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Earlton Houston, Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, Henry West Statton, Joel Jamel Alls, Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Bet Vaughn, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Ramey Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Barbara Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Battles, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Urban, Hiron Phillips, William Ford Jr., Margaret Logan Phillips Barnett, Lee Urban Sr., Michael Urban, Rosella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rayshon Easley, Javea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Edward R. Benser Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Lois Fernandez, Jacqueline Broadus. Family, okay, Reginald Oliver. I gotta find me a pen. That's real life around here, Gye-Nyame Journey. My daughters, I lay a pen down up here on my table, and guess what? So I got a hide pen so that I could keep a pen. Now I think they done figured out my hiding place, right? You know, you got to be a dad. You got to be a step ahead. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a step ahead. They improve their technology. You improve your technology, right? So shouts out to Reginald Oliver. For those that don't know, I'm writing down the names. So when I have an opportunity to put names down to add to our family list, I do. When we read our ancestors together, we become family. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like I said, we got to get to know each other and stuff like that. But, you know, I stay consistent. The family stay consistent. So some of y'all that might be beefing, y'all hear other people's ancestors on this list, and then, you know, and you know, it kind of, they all become one family. So we got our ancestors, we got that energy working in between us, which makes it possible, maybe a little bit easier for us to work together, right? So we call on all of those ancestors, and we say, you can have more than one if you want, Mr. Andre. Anybody else out there that's really interested in getting your ancestors on the list, right? Because I got plenty of room. I don't mind taking the time reading them in the morning. I'll let y'all know when it get too much, and then we'll work something out, right? By the time we get too much, we better have other people have the show. You know what I'm saying? But so we lift up our glass to all those ancestors that we read, and we say, Ashe. Personal ancestors, though. You know what I'm saying? That's the only rule. We, on the Daily Toast, we salute the personal ancestors, right? So, from there, we move on to the present moment.
Come on! What's the matter with you? Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
All right. So we salute this moment. We move from the past. We're now saluting the present, even though we know that they all are one, right? But in order as human beings, in order to understand them, we got to separate them, right? So we salute the present moment, and we understand that if we don't handle our business in the present moment, there will be no future for our children. Right? We stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, and the only reason we're able to stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, they did what they needed to do in order to make sure that it was possible for us to be here. So we lift up our glass, we say, Ashe. Shouts out to Brother Kwame. I see you made it from the pool this morning. I hope everything went well. That's what good. He said he had a great swim. All right, so we are in a moment right now. What moment are we in? We are on Ujamaa. It's cooperative economics. Reciprocity is the modic principle today. Yeah, we go through. I mean, family, we build here, right? The M7, or the principle that we use for those that really don't understand some of this stuff. The principle of the day is gratitude, right? The day is green, right? It's a green day. The color is green. Let's put it that way. The Hermetic laws polarity. If you was born on this day, right? Your male name, the male energy name is Yao. Female is Ya. All right? So, from there, we move to the emotional emancipation circle. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Emotional emancipation circle, African Center Cultural Virtue and Value System. Today, we are on in Wolof, Yomanda, compassion for those less fortunate than yourself, Akan ethics, patience, and traditional Yoruba Imoja Mora, which is sensitivity. Now, family, key point, when we are practicing these principles reverberate from inside out, right? This means that these principles, and it's going to be hard for some of y'all. We got to start with these principles with ourselves first. All right? Don't go spread patience with everybody else but your own, right? We got to work on, and I'm saying this because I have noticed as I have noticed that it's easier for me to practice these principles outside of my group, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking for me. I don't know. I might be the only one, so let me speak for me. I'm an authority on me, right? So I've noticed that I had to really, I had in my lifetime, I had to really focus on learning to use these principles and practices with me and my group, right? Because I'm spreading all my energy everywhere else, you know what I'm saying, and not really getting any return. I mean, we see it with us politically, right? We have political goodwill for everybody and shit, for us, except for us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, So now, cracking the code. I'm gonna try to hang on to this thing. It's like my little. I got it laminated, but my little lamination keep disappearing, right? So the 6 basic emotions. Since we're in it now, the emotion of. All right, so we got peaceful, powerful, and joyful. We end every day talking about. I wish you peace, power, and joy. The emotions that help give us guidance in how to get back to our original state, which is a state of peace, power, and joy, right? Are mad, sad, and scared. Scared is about the future. Sad is about the past. Mad is about the present, right? I think that's how. So when we are sad, coming from the past, when we are sad, the question is, what has been lost, right? And then once you ask yourself that question, right, you find out what's the loss, right? You start really doing some self-questioning, and what's the loss? I need support, space, time to grieve and let go, right? That's the past. In the present, I'm mad as hell. The question that you have to ask yourself is, how have I been violated? And if you can't answer that question, are you really mad? Are you confusing? Are you confusing emotions? Man, the question is, how have I been violated? Once you identify how you may have been violated, you need to set limits, reestablish boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Set limits, reestablish boundaries. Make it very simple. Future. Scared. What's the danger? Are you really scared? Then what's the danger? Identify the danger. After that, I need protection, support, and reassurance. All right? Very simple. Very powerful system that you can use in the now. Because you know we be having these emotions in the now. They pop up. And we have to be very clear on them. Well, damn, if I'm mad, then what's the violation? I mean, and it needs to become second nature. And when we're communicating with each other, right? This is the language we speak. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. What's wrong with you, bro? Wow, I'm mad. Well, how you been violated? You know, there's 3 basic ways you violated. Somebody physically accost you. So we're gonna look into this a little bit deeper. Elderwood Case is gonna be doing workshops on Imani. It's just, you know what I'm saying, that there's a cost associated with it. So, but also we're gonna work on bringing him here for a 3-day retreat, so that we could actually get to practice and really get some serious in-depth work on this, just to practice it. You know what I'm saying? So that we could make this part of our lexicon. So how you been violated, bro? You know what? I guess I'm not mad because I really wasn't violated. Damn. So now you just helped your brother realize, damn, hey, I'm not mad. Okay. All right, let's find out what I really am. Let's find out what I'm really feeling. That's where the healing begins, right? So we lift up the glass for the now. We say Ashe. From there, we move to the future. We toast our children, our children's children, on to infinity. Realizing that if we handle our business in the now, if we heal ourselves in the now, if we're building in the now, if we're, you know what I'm saying, if we're healing in the now, if we doing our warrior stuff in the now, our children going to have a marvelous and a beautiful future. So we lift up that glass and we say, Ashe, Ashe. From there, family, we move to all of our relations and we lift up our glass and we salute all of our relations. That's that number 1, that interdependence for those that are interested in cycles, right? So then we move from there, and where we go? Where you go, Hatil? We go to that selfish toast. You call on the ancestors with me. You call on the Creator with me. They're here. What do you want? What do you need? What do you need? Right? What do you need? Lift up your glass, family. Right? Ask for what it is you want. Ask for what it is you need in your life at this moment in time. Right? What are your dreams? Selfish libation. This is where you reflect on you. Some of the issues you might have, some of the things you might need to overcome, some of the passions that you might want to bring a life in your life, some of the stuff that you might want for other people. This is that selfish libation. You can do with it what you want, right? Lift up the glass. I'm holding it up. This glass heavy as hell. Come on now. Hurry up. Okay, thank you. Last but not least, family, I toast the most powerful being in the room. I send shots out to the most powerful being in the room, the most beautiful being in the room, the most, y'all just incredible. So I lift up the glass to you as an individual, right? Lift it up to you, and we say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Salute you. I wish you peace, power, joy, and 100 years. And family, I hope to see your face in the place on August 18th. Of course, I'm going to be sending out another text. I'm going to send out a nice text tonight. Sister CeeLo is going to be doing African heritage diet demo, right? Because we talk about that the African heritage diet. You know what I'm saying? There's only 4 things you need to do. Keep the doctor about your face. Breathe. Drink your water. Culturally appropriate food. Culturally appropriate movement. This is Brother Hatim, family. I am out. Y'all have a great morning. Peace out, Spreaker.